episodes, we used music from the original series of Star Trek. There was a multi-CD collection that was released, the complete collection. It was all the tracks of just music. And because of my music background, I knew how to choose the exact cue that had the mood and the tempo and the emotion that this moment needed, and I would do all of the music editing. Well then, as we were preparing for our 4th episode, I was contacted by a guy named Andy Farber. And Andy said to me, I'm a composer, and I love your series, and I would love to write some original music for you. And I thought, well, I mean, I'm honored. That would be wonderful, except, you know, it's very specific kind of music. People that write music today for television, they don't write that kind of stuff. And I asked him if he would send me a sample. I said, well, you know, if you want to write a sample, give me an example of what you could do, something that sounds like it could have been created in the original series. So he sent me an example, and I was like, whoa, wow, this is good. And that's when I found out that Andy Farber teaches music composition at Juilliard in New York City. And he had access to a student orchestra. So starting with episode 4, and then on to 5, 6, 7, Andy Farber has created original, and I've flown up there and we've done recording sessions with a full orchestra. And we've intermingled original themes that Andy has written with original series themes. And then our last 2 episodes, 10 and 11, 9 was just released a week and a half ago. And thank you. It's a great story. You guys should check. By the way, they're all free. In case you think I'm trying to get, you know, oh, he's trying to get me to sign up for some kind of monthly charge. And, no, all free. They're on YouTube and Vimeo. We have 9 episodes online, full-length episodes. They're great stories, well-crafted, make you think like classic Star Trek used to do. And then 10 and 11 are going to be out in mid-October and mid-November. So, and by the way, 10 and 11 are going to be our series finale. Now, let me tell you why that's important. Star Trek in the late 60s was canceled. Abruptly, just shut down in the middle of its 3rd season. So it never had an ending. It just stopped. And the next time you saw Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and Dr. McCoy was 10 years later in Star Trek the Motion Picture. Doesn't count. But by the time the motion picture came out, you guys, Captain Kirk had taken a promotion to Admiral. He wasn't even the captain of the Enterprise anymore. And Spock had gone back to Vulcan to pursue some discipline to purge remaining emotion from him. And Dr. McCoy had quit the service altogether. Went home, grew a beard. So we started thinking, I wonder what happened, why they made the decisions that they made that left them where they were when we saw them in the motion picture. So what we've done is we've crafted stories that are going to answer all of those questions. And our final episode is going to leave the Enterprise and Kirk and Spock and McCoy right where they were when the motion picture starts. So it's going to perfectly fill the gap between the original series cancellation and the motion picture. So even if you're not an original series fan, bet you somebody in your family is, bet your dad is, or your uncle, or school teacher, or neighbor, tell them. Tell them about Star Trek Continues. Star Trek Continues. Star Trek Continues. .com. Yes, my dear.
Is the script written yet for the finale?
Oh, baby. Is the script written? They're shot. They're done. They're done. They are done and edited. In fact, episode 10, on the flight here yesterday from LA, I had my laptop and the And I was choosing music for different moments on the plane the whole way here. The episode is being sound designed right now, and then 11 is done and edited, and that'll be right after 10. So, oh yeah, they're already finished. They're edited. In fact, if you beat me up and took my phone, there are pictures on my phone. And a lot of Star Trek fans would love to see. Don't get any ideas. So, yes.
What's the best lesson you've learned over the course of your career, whether it's for voice acting or just entertainment in general?
That's a heavy question. I don't know. Too many. You know, I will tell you one thing. Hope you don't mind me sharing this. This is important, though. It's important to me. My faith plays a very big part in my life. I'm not shoving it down anybody's throat. Please don't go home and say Vic was, shoving his religion down our throat. Sorry, not so. But it's important to me. And I've often, I remember how I said early on about being so grateful for what I get to do? I've often contemplated, and do you remember when I said how I was jealous of Todd because he got to start so early? I was contemplating that one day, and I thought to myself, if I had accomplished what I've accomplished in my life today, back when I was 30 years old, I'd be a dick. You follow me? I'd be an arrogant jerk who would think it was all about me and all about, the adulation and all of the, excitement and all that kind of thing. So it's really interesting that it didn't happen to me until I was much older, when I had a very different perspective. My perspective now is, what can I give back? What can I do to encourage you or help you through a difficult time in your life? Or perhaps just one little positive word at just the right moment could change the trajectory of your life. And when I started, I thought I was just voicing anime characters, Never really occurred to me that I would have any kind of influence over anybody. But then I started getting fan letters from people that would say I was about to end it until I found Full Metal Alchemist, and it got me through a really dark time. Or in high school, made me laugh and smile when my family was breaking up. Or I was fighting a disease and such got me through it. And suddenly I'm like, oh my God, how humbling to be a part of people's lives and hopefully be able. So when you're given that opportunity and that privilege, you better do something good with it. Don't, you know what I mean? If you know that you've been given the opportunity to make a positive difference in people's lives, you better do it. You know what I mean? You better do it. And so one thing that I think the most important thing to me has been over the years has been to want to be able to give back. I used to go to Star Trek conventions when I was your age. And I would stand at an autograph table across from Leonard Nimoy. And he was signing an autograph, and I was like, Mr. Nimoy, pleasure to meet you. Mr. Takei, Sulu, right? Nichelle Nichols, oh my God, Scotty, oh my God, right? I would have never imagined that I would be on the other side of the table and that anyone would care. You see what I'm saying? To meet me the way I looked up to them for what they meant to me in the show they created. So it does not escape me the importance and the potential impact that I and anyone in the industry can have. And I want so much to make a positive impact. I screw up. I'm a stupid human being, just like you. You know what I mean? Like, we all make mistakes. I've done a lot of dumb things. I've said things I didn't mean, I did things I wish I hadn't have done. I mess up all the time. But I want to, you know what I mean? But I want to do right. I want to make good choices. And so one thing I've learned is to be grateful for the opportunities I've been given, and always remember to be grateful. On the worst day of your life, you have 100 things to be grateful for. And you can either choose to focus on the one bad thing that happened today, or you can remind yourself of the 100 things that you just took for granted that happened today, that were blessings that you just didn't even think about. The fact that you can look at me right in the eyes right now, you have eyes that work. You know what I mean? There are people that don't. Look at that smile. You know what I mean? You can get up and walk out of here. That's a blessing. The air in your lungs, that's a gift. You know what I mean? So many things. People that love you. Did you eat something today? That's a blessing. Hundreds of thousands of people around the world that didn't eat anything today. Do you have a home to go back to? I mean, so many. Did you ever go to school? Education, I mean, a million things to be grateful for. So that's what I've learned. Right. I'm sorry, that got kind of heavy. Sorry. Good. And my dear Andrew in the back room is giving me the 5-minute sign. I know we lost like 15 minutes being seated, but hey, promise you'll come back tomorrow, okay? I promise I'll talk about fun stuff. I won't talk so heavy. But what time's the panel tomorrow, Andrew? Accessing computer banks. 2 o'clock. In what room? Panel 5. So please come tomorrow, and we will continue our fun stuff. Yes. Last question, probably. And I have some fun videos to show you tomorrow and everything. So we'll have a fun time tomorrow. Will you pass that down to her?
Hi, Vic.
Hi.
All right, so one, I'm glad you're feeling better because I met you at Anime Next 2011 and you were sick, so I'm glad you're better. That's a blessing.
Yes.
All right, so my question is, you probably don't remember too far during your Persona 3 days, but...
Junpei.
Junpei, yes.
Da-da-da-da.
I was dying to hear that, sorry. Do you have any memories of outtakes you had with Michelle Ruff when you did Junpei and Yukari during recording, or any fun times you had afterwards?
Well, you know what?
Persona is one of those fun things that you did and you didn't really know if anybody even played it. I never heard of it. And so it's been really fun for me to go to conventions and people come up and go, man, I love Junpei. I was like, really? You know that kid? And I get excited because I didn't, some shows are kind of big shows or whatever. But Persona was one of those things that I was surprised that people enjoyed it and knew as much about it. As far as fun stories, I will tell you this. As I said earlier, we record by ourselves. So I know Michelle Ruff and I love Michelle Ruff, but we didn't record together. In fact, if we don't get scheduled to be guests at a convention together somewhere, we may never meet each other. That's a really interesting reality, isn't it? So many of you guys think the people that are in the cast of a show, we all know each other, we hang out, we're friends, we do these shows together. But the reality is you could do an entire show and never meet the people that are in that show with you because they come in and record separately. Guess who I've never met? The woman who played Trisha Elric. The woman who played my mother in Full Metal. I've never met her to this day. You know why? Because how many lines did Trisha Elric have? 15, 20, right? Which means she came into Funimation one day, went into the booth, did her lines, and was probably gone in 45 minutes. And I wasn't even in town. I was in Houston or something, right? She never came back, and she doesn't do conventions. So I've never met her. And I feel like I know her. That's the weird thing, you know what I mean? I feel like I know her, but we've never met. And that's one of the interesting things about anime, is when you hear these people's voices in your head, right? If they've already gone into the studio and recorded, I hear them. And I can play off of them or respond to them, unless I'm the first one to record, and then vice versa. They come in later and respond to me. But you hear their voices and you feel like you know them. And so when you meet them for the first time, it doesn't feel like the first time. You feel like you already have a connection. So that's one of the weird things about doing anime. You guys, I'm out of time. I love you. I'm so glad you came. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Please make plans for 2 things. Number 1, come see me at Autographs, and I hope to see you at the panel tomorrow. Thanks for coming, guys.